It's time for another Transformation Tuesday. So this is Jim hacking. After working with Charles D'Angelo, he's down 75 pounds. So take a look at what he looks like now. Oh my goodness. Jim, yes, we have Charles in studio, claps all around. I hear claps in the control room. All right, Jim, go ahead and take a seat. Let's chat a little bit about this because first of all, you look incredible.
Thank you.
And so what would you have to say? What was one of the biggest things and mindsets that you learned from working with Charles?
Well, when I first met with Charles, I was nervous and I was defeated. I had a hard time losing weight, a hard time sticking with it. I would start on Mondays, but by Tuesday lunchtime, I was ready to chow down and I was really having a hard time.
Yeah.
I was really having a hard time losing weight.
And so what is it difficult for you now that it wasn't easy, right? But now that you've lost the weight, what are you kind of working through?
So I've really enjoyed the weight loss journey. It's been hard. I sweat a lot. I've done more time in the gym in the last 5 months than I have in my whole life. So I've really become sort of a gym rat.
And you mentioned that, you wanted to chow down at lunch. What was it about Charles and his program that kind of made you realize, like, this is how you shift, this is how you do it?
So I didn't know what to expect when I first went to see Charles. And Charles gave me a legal pad, and he asked me some questions, and he really drilled down into what it was that was holding me back. And I think that the real value of working with Charles is the mindset shift, the fact that you can be so defeated and so futile in trying to figure out how to do this. It's almost impossible to do it by yourself. And so luckily, Charles was able to help me work through some things that I'd sort of set up as mental blocks and really got me going.
And so, Charles, for you, I mean, if people are on the fence, talk about just hearing that testament that this is a mindset shift. This is something that you could take into that new year.
Yeah, well, most of us know what we need to be doing, right? We all know that if we have an apple, it's a good idea. We all know if we go to the gym, that's a good idea. But what many people miss out on is, unless you learn how to disconnect from using food reactively and emotionally, like we were talking about here with Jim, it's really difficult to develop the momentum that keeps people motivated. Momentum and motivation go hand in hand. So a big facet of the work we do is certainly having a very good strategy. So on that legal pad, Jim left that first meeting with exactly what to eat, when to eat, where he needed to get it from. It's all real food. That's one leg of this three-legged stool. The second leg is exercise. So he goes and walks on the treadmill every single morning. Every day he's at the gym. And the third and most important aspect, the glue that holds all this together, is how do you change your thinking, your relationship with yourself, so you're not using food as a distraction or a consolation. It's something you look at as basic as hygiene. It's like brushing your teeth, putting your clothes on, putting gas in the car. You've got to get to the point in your life where food doesn't have the high emotional charge that it did for me when I was 360 pounds. A lot of people might not know, I was once almost 400 pounds myself. So when I work with someone, I've been there. I know what it's like to feel stuck in a place you hate, and I also know exactly what it's going to take to go from where you are to where you want to be. Last thing, it's a process and a program without a finish line. In other words, as soon as you put a finish line on this, you are finished. So, the critics, the skeptics will say, well, that's great. He's helped people like Jim lose 75 pounds or someone lose 200 pounds or whatever. But how many people keep the weight off? And here's the truth. Unless you continue to practice those disciplines, unless 80% of the time you keep doing the right things, if you think that you can get into the winner's circle, so to speak, and then give it all up, you'll be right back to where you started. So you have to realize this really is about rewiring the way you think, rewiring the way that you act, and having accountability until you have that inner strength to be able to handle this independently.
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So why don't you take a look at your screen here for further information. Again, Charles has helped thousands of people reach their weight loss goals, and he can help you too. Schedule that free consultation today. Thanks you both so much for joining us, and thanks, Jim, for sharing your story. We'll be right back.